Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Brothers Take podcast. My name is Kris. I'm joined once again by my brother Eric,
Hello.
and we are back in the room to talk more gaming. In this week's episode, we are going to be talking about last week's, or the most recent, PlayStation State of Play, which took place on February 12th, 2025, and we're setting up some games to look forward to in the future coming to PlayStation. We are going to be recapping the show, mainly focusing on the ones that stood out to us, but of course we'd love you guys to jump in to let us know of any of the other games that stood out to you, sharing our highlights and sharing our overall thoughts on the show as a whole. And like always, we want to hear from you guys. So if you're watching YouTube, jump down in the comments, share your thoughts on any of the games that caught your eye, any of the games you're particularly excited about, or if you have any extra information, like there's a game you've been following, and you're like, oh, actually, you need to know this is going to be sick, then do let us know. If you enjoyed this episode, please do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for all future content. And to those of you listeners on audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on the most recent PlayStation State of Play. We'd heard from Nintendo, we had heard from Xbox, it was PlayStation's turn. Did they deliver? Without further ado, let's talk about it. So, Eric, your overall thoughts on the show? Did you have hype levels going in, and then did it deliver, or like what were you expecting?
So I never really have hype levels for these things.
I know, you're never excited for anything.
That's no. Hold on. Hold on. That's not true. Hold up a minute.
Hold on a minute.
No, I do get excited for things, but I just don't go into these showcases with, oh my God, it's gonna be the best thing ever. And it's not necessarily because of, I don't have the same hatred. I remember in previous episodes, I would have like this, oh, fuck's sake, another one. And you know what I mean?
It felt like a chore for you or something.
It absolutely felt like a chore.
Yeah, it's like, oh, God forbid, like they might show you something you're interested in.
I think the problem was that they kept showing
stuff you weren't interested in.
Yeah, and so
Sure.
And I think they kept doing like these one game for like the whole showcase, and it's like, okay, but if you have no interest in this game, then you're fucked, like, and they don't show you anything else.
Yeah.
So this one, they show you more than one game, which is nice. Except
Okay.
except they went overkill with this one, I think.
Okay.
Where it's just like, I just kind of felt when every game, even if I had no real interest in the game, or even if I had lots of interest in the game, I always felt that when it ended, they went to the next game, it just felt very anticlimactic.
Yeah, it's like, and there you go.
Yeah, that's why.
And that's why. Yeah.
And now we're gonna move on. But like, at least with the Xbox one, it was 4 games. You go in, they tell you about the game. You know, you get to feel somewhat of a connection to the developers themselves. And then when it was done, you kind of go, okay, there's your breather. That's that game coming out that date. We'll move on to the next one now. But this one was just like, there it is. There you go.
Just
right?
a series of trailers, yeah.
Just a series of trailers, yeah. Now, some of the games were very cool. I was one of them. I definitely was like, let's fucking go. I might, like, out of small minute, the game did very well last year. But that was probably the thing that made me go, let's fucking go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But I thought there was a good variety of games, which is always good. You know, if you have just all the same thing, that's not great. So there was a good variety of games. You had some multiplayer there with like that Portal, I don't know what the fuck game's called, but that Portal game.
I remember, like, this came up, was this at the Game Awards or something like that? There was one of these showcases we were talking about before, and you kept saying, oh, you know that game Portals? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And you were like, yeah, they literally had the portals that look like the game Portal, and it's a multiplayer game. And I was like, is it part of the Portal series? And you were like, no, I don't think it is. And I was like, there's no way it's called Portals. And you were like, yeah, well, it looks like Portals. I think it was called Portals or whatever. And we were talking, and I had no recollection. I was like, I was blanked out at that bit, or I don't know what you're talking about. And then I saw this trailer, actually, and I was like, this must be what Eric was talking about.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah.
So it's called Splitgate, I think.
Yeah, right.
But you're right, the portals do look exactly like Portal.
Yeah, because
it's obviously inspired by.
Yeah, we could have inspired by, and then we could have literally the orange and blue portals from
Yeah,
Borderlands.
you
Like,
know, it's a clear homage. You know, it's lightly influenced by, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah,
So we have that for multiplayer. People Split Fiction, they show that again, um, which is another type of multiplayer, but being quite different. Monster Hunter Wilds for your Monster Hunter fans, which I remember watching that, and I was like, I don't know if we've ever said this. Those monsters are awesome.
yeah, they're
The
great. Yeah,
designs of those. you say you say that like it's yeah, they're great, whatever. Like,
yeah,
well
yeah.
done, I
No,
suppose.
yeah.
Uh,
Congrats, Capcom! You
uh,
designed great monsters. No, sorry, that wasn't supposed to sound so flippant. Yeah, no,
like
they are good. They are good.
they look awesome. They
Yeah,
move really well. It's just like, oh, look at this big giant monster. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, they're fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought a shout out for the fact that the
Yeah,
team
well,
made
we're gonna
really
be
good.
we're gonna be going through all of them. So
Yeah. But
yeah.
I just so those like that's one thing that I thought was quite nice was the wide variety of games. But I thought I'd just give that the monster design a shout out because I don't think
Oh
we've ever
yeah,
given that a shout out because it's been shown so many times. We just go, yeah, there's Monster Hunter Wilds there, and we always just moved on.
we do. Yeah, I suppose we're just not into the Monster Hunter series.
No,
But
no,
obviously, it's a
like,
massive franchise.
yeah. So that was my one thing was they showed a trailer, bit anticlimactic, but there was enough there that there might pique someone's interest, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's kind of my overall all kind of thoughts and opinions of it.
I definitely prefer the format that the Xbox Developer Direct
Mm,
had.
yeah.
And even though that's less games, it was just 4 games, but I was like, I want to play all of these because they just
Mm,
gave each one enough time to be, even though in the end I might not want to play all of them, but in that moment it was like, oh fuck yeah, I want to play all of these games. And I just thought they deliver it in a very concise way. They give all the games their time. They make each one feel like a big deal. Whereas, yeah, this kind of stringing through a load of trailers that could just drop on YouTube, um, without like a little bit of it. Like some of them, okay, the developers would come out and give you a little bit of something, and it's
mm,
like, okay, it's nice to hear from the people behind the game. They give you a little bit of background info. I even found that some of these that I was more interested in, I would look up, and actually on like the PlayStation blog there would be a write up, and that
mm.
would tell you more about the game than the trailer did.
Nice.
Like I learned more about these games from reading than I did from watching the show. Now, in fairness, the show made me go and do that. So
Right, yeah, yeah.
it put them on my radar. But so there's certainly games I was interested in and other games that I'm not, and that's what you get in a variety show like this. Um, my overall thoughts though were I was kind of hoping PlayStation for their first show of the year would set up a this is like our roadmap for 2025 and you're in for a banger of a year.
Mm.
And some of these games are releasing next year. And I'm like, you don't need to show that yet. That's like, don't get me wrong, cool and all, but you can show that later. Show
Yeah.
us, get us hyped for this year. Like, so Nintendo, and by all means, all they've shown so far is just they've just announced the Switch 2 and then said that they're doing a bigger thing later.
Mm,
But we know that there's a new console coming from Nintendo this year, and therefore there has to be launch games with it. So we
mm,
already know there's something to be excited about from Nintendo. Xbox Developers Direct was all about games coming to Xbox and coming to Game Pass this year.
mm.
This show, maybe they're not ready to show much more yet. Even a small bit of Ghost of Yote to remind people and get them hyped. Yes, you're playing this year.
Right, yeah, because
You
it
know what I mean?
hasn't.
I just thought like there's stuff that, and obviously there was a lot of games here that are coming this year, but I just thought that PlayStation could have taken the opportunity for the first showcase of the year to be like, you need to be excited to be on PlayStation this year.
Right, because I think Xbox put up
That's all.
a post about all the games coming to Xbox, which was
Right, yeah.
nearly all the games at the state of play. Like,
Which they are, and like, okay,
yes,
and similar enough, you could say the same thing. Like someone could go, but like the Xbox Developer Direct, 3 of those 4 games are all coming to PlayStation. So
mm,
what are you on about? The difference is that they're coming to Xbox Game Pass day one, and that's
yes,
that's their bragging thing where they can go, if you're with Xbox, you get this straight away, and
yeah,
and we made it. Like it's our game, we made it the game. Whereas a lot of these games were like it was PlayStation showing off like third party games that are kind of going.
yeah. There was only
So,
one in-house game,
I believe so. I could be wrong, but yeah, I believe so. And again, it was one, don't get me wrong, it was cool looking, but again, and then it was like coming next year. And I'm like, we could really wait to see that till maybe September
Yeah.
or like Summer Game Fest, or like there's plenty of time to show that. We should be excited for this year, not going, oh, cool, that's next year. Great. Like at the start of the year. So
Yeah, it's
for me, it wasn't a great, it felt like a state of play that would happen in the middle of the year rather than a state of play that would happen at the start of the
that a
year.
year. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's where I was left disappointed by the showcase.
Mm.
But that's not to say that there weren't games in here that I'm absolutely interested in, excited for, keep it on my radar. So why don't we go through recapping the PlayStation State of Play? We are not going to talk about every single game. This is just a way of reminding ourselves what actually came up. We might have a pointer or two on some, and some we might have a lot more to say. Those that we don't talk about that you guys are interested in, feel free to chime in either in the comments on YouTube or get in touch with social media, wherever you want to let us know about the games you're excited for that we didn't necessarily discuss, okay? So, the showcase opened with Monster Hunter Wilds, right? A final push because that game is launching very, very soon. Obviously a very big game this year. And I'll be honest, this was the moment I went, I don't think this showcase is going to be very good. And it's not,
Really?
it's not a dig at Monster Hunter Wilds, but it's just we've seen it so much that I was like, if you're showing this again and it's how you're opening the showcase, I don't think there's going to be a lot to show here.
Oh, right, okay.
That you're like, oh, we got to show off this big game again. We need it. We need a big heavy hitter at the start, and we need a big heavy hitter at the end.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And when I'm like, the big heavy hitter at the start is one that we've seen 100 times now. That's where I went, oh, okay, all right. I'm not expecting much now.
Oh,
To
okay.
be honest,
Right.
I was a bit deflated by it. But don't get me wrong, it looks like a great game and all. But yeah,
I just didn't really suppose maybe I should start doing that. I just didn't really look too much into what they're opening with.
yeah.
To me, it made sense. It's coming out February 28th. They also showcased the fact that they have a new monster that you're going to get like on the first update. And
Yep.
again, I was watching this going, those monsters are awesome. Why have we never mentioned them?
Yeah, they're great. You're right.
Yeah,
They're great.
yeah.
They're great.
But yeah, it's just not really a game that'd be on our radar,
No,
really.
no.
But yeah.
Next game up was Shinobi Art of Vengeance. The big thing for me on this one, which apparently will be released on August 28th. I just thought the art style to this looked fucking awesome.
Yes. Yes. Now I don't know if I'd be getting this day one or anything like that, but it's a very cool, like almost like a comic booky or something. Like it's a side scrolling game and it just looks fucking class. I like side scrolling games kinda. I like looking at them. I don't necessarily play any of them, but like I like looking at them. Like that's nice that they're still going.
They're visually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we had Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. This is set to release for on a closed network on February 21st, and then obviously there'll be a proper release date soon after, I would say.
Mario Kart.
It's just Mario Kart.
It's just Mario Kart.
It's just Mario Kart. Even like Ash was watching some of the show with me, and then she said, "Oh fuck this, I go to bed."
Right.
And she was saying the same thing. Like she was like, "That is literally Mario Kart." Like even the shooting things at each other and it just looked like the way the cars flip and stuff. Like it just looked too much. And I know there is other kart racers. You know, there was Crash Team Racing back in the day and stuff. There's plenty of kart racers out there, and they're all compared to Mario Kart because Mario Kart is the OG. That's fair enough.
Right.
But this one looked a lot like Mario Kart. I thought.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
looked
Like
identical nearly.
yeah, it just looked like Mario Kart, but now you're playing as
The Sonic characters.
the Sonic characters. But like even the fact that the cars transform when you go to water or go onto air.
Yeah, the wheels turn sideways and all that
Right.
stuff.
You
and-
just like the yeah. It's just I was watching this going. That's just Mario Kart. Like there's nothing really. If you have Mario Kart, I think you're sorted. You're fine. On
I
that
suppose maybe it helps for if you're not on a Nintendo console.
True, you get the same experience
You know.
if you don't have it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Or if you're a Sonic fan, maybe this is like incredibly appealing just to see your favorite characters in like a fun racing game or whatever.
I would get it if I found out Keanu Reeves did the voice of Shadow.
I bet you he does. Now you have to buy it.
Don't do
Yeah,
that. Don't
you look
don't
it up. Look it
don't
up and find out. Maybe
don't
they
give me
use
hope.
maybe
Don't
they
give me
use
hope, Chris.
maybe they use like sound bites from his recordings for the film.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Really? It's not
For
like he
this,
hasn't been in games before.
yeah, but not in this.
I'm gonna
Shut
spend the
up.
rest of this episode trying to convince Eric to buy Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Yeah, I spoke too soon.
You shouldn't have even brought up the
No,
possibility
no, no,
that
no, no.
Keanu
I shouldn't
Reeves might voice his counterpart in the game.
have.
The next game we saw was Digimon Storytime Stranger, right?
I laughed.
Listen. Listen to this. Listen to this. You're not going to believe me, right?
Did you predict this? Were you watching this going, I bet you this is Digimon?
I had a moment. I'm not joking because I said it to Ash. There was a moment before you see any of the creatures and before they drop the name where I went, is this Digimon? And I don't know why it even entered my head because I haven't thought about Digimon since I was maybe in primary school.
Yeah, long time.
And then they went Digimon, and I went, fuck off. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't in any way get that excited for this or anything like that.
No, I did. I just
Not really for me, but I thought it was crazy that I had this weird, like in the back of my head, it just went, is this possibly Digimon? I don't know where it came from, and then suddenly it was, and I don't know.
I laughed when it was like a big serious opening, big serious voice, and then in their serious voice they go Digimon, and I'm like, you can't say that and be serious. Like, there's no way. Like,
Hey,
it's.
why not? What the fuck? Fuck you. Digimon is awesome. What's your
I
problem?
never said Digimon's not awesome. You just can't say the words Digimon in a cool
serious
voice. Yeah, it just doesn't work.
I love that. I never said it wasn't awesome. You shut your fucking mouth. I'm just saying you can't do that.
Right? Like, you can't help it, like, if someone's being serious and they say Digimon and they're trying to be epic and cool.
Yeah.
I laughed because that's ridiculous. So
Yeah, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh was always great, but you can't take like anyone seriously when they say you want to play some Yu-Gi-Oh. Like,
right, exactly.
You'd be like, tone it down a bit, you know. It's like
calm down.
We're only having a laugh.
Yeah.
It's not. Let's not take this too seriously, okay? It's a bit of crack.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're a fan of Digimon, there's a game for you.
I didn't even know there was Digimon games, but based on the title, it would suggest to me that there's probably a whole series here.
Maybe.
Like, so, yeah, okay, cool.
I haven't
Why
a clue.
not?
I can't really remember anything about Digimon other than it. You know, you got
They're
cards.
Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions. Believe that was the song. Anyway,
Moving
that
on.
was Digimon. And then the next game we got was Lost Soul Aside. This game was first pointed out to us by Eric. Eric saw a trailer for this game and he pointed it out to me and Adam a couple of years ago now. Said, check out this game. It was at the time being developed by like one dude, and then PlayStation picked it up and backed it up, and I'm sure they gave him maybe a team and resources or something. I'm sure he didn't do it all on his own, but apparently this game has been like 10 years in the making, because obviously it would have been a much slower process at first when this guy was on his own. He's obviously not compromising. He's reaching for like AAA heights. And it's hard not to see a sort of Final Fantasy aesthetic to this.
Right,
Very
yeah.
much Final Fantasy 15. Eric, having seen the trailer now, and we have now a release date. It's no longer just concept trailers and like little first looks at combat and stuff. Now there's actually this is coming out this year.
Yeah, pre-orders open on February 19th, which is 5 days time from time of recording. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, time of recording, yeah.
At time of recording.
So this game is one where I was like, okay, like this belongs in the state of play, because I think this is only, I know it's coming to PC as well, but in terms of the consoles, it's only coming to PlayStation.
Well, this belongs here because it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Go on, tell us,
fucking
Eric.
sick. This looks fucking. I'm like, stop showing me these RPG games. I'm not gonna have money to pre-order all of them.
Yeah.
Pre-orders open. I still actually haven't pre-ordered Claire Obscure. I may get on that.
Turns out like RPG action games with a Final Fantasy aesthetic are just the bomb at the moment.
Yeah, they're class. Just give us more of them.
Yeah, yeah.
all the time. No, not all the time. If you do too many of them,
Yeah, I don't do too
they'll
many.
get stale. No, no, no. We're getting a good number right now. But yeah, this I was just like, this looks fucking wicked. This looks totally awesome.
I'm curious what the like difficulty level in this game is going to be. Like, I don't know if they're going for a like it's because some of the games now are going for a much flashier version of a Soulsborne style, where it's like, no, it is really hard, but at least it's flashy and looks cool, and there's more of a story, or at least more of a the story is delivered in a
Coherent.
a more obvious way, more obvious way. Um, so I wonder, is it like that, or is it closer to say a Devil May Cry, um, in terms of difficulty spikes and stuff like that? I don't really know. I couldn't tell that part from it.
No, no. I hope there's just a difficulty setting. You can just choose your difficulty. That way, if
Hmm.
someone, for those who love the challenge, they can just make it challenging. For those who just want to see whatever the story is, because even that, the setting and everything looks so interesting
Yeah.
that you can just play it on your easy or normal, whatever it is, and then just, you know, enjoy.
The
So
abilities that the dragon thing does is really cool too. Like the like floating through the air and like surfing through the air and stuff. Like all
Mm.
that stuff looked really, really sick.
Oh, this like, and then the different worlds and maps you're going to just looks fucking totally awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pre-order this. I don't care.
Do you know what's a little heartbreaking though?
Don't say it.
Do you do you know what's a little heartbreaking?
What's a little heartbreaking, Chris?
Okay, hold on. First of all,
What are you doing to me,
if I
Chris?
remember correctly, this game has been in development for about 10 years.
Right. Games take
Yeah?
a while. Yeah.
Yeah, well, especially because, like, again, this guy started doing this on his own. There is a big, like, PlayStation blog that you can read
Mm.
um, to get a little bit more about the game.
Right.
And, yeah, it sounds great. It looks cool. I'm definitely interested in this one. This is one of the ones that's on my radar.
Yeah.
To hear how long it's been in development, though, and then to hear its release date is May
Okay.
30th.
All right.
I hope they move it. I really do. For his sake. For his sake, they should move that date. Do you know why?
Is Elden Ring Night
Elden
Rain?
Ring Night Rain releases on the same day.
For his sake, I hope they move that date.
Because, come on. Like, Night Rain has probably been in development for about 2 years.
Yeah.
By a huge, huge team who've had massive success. Don't get me wrong, I know lots of people are going to love that and play that, but we just know from experience, when you release something of that
Around Elden Ring.
around
That's
Elden Ring,
well, around From Software.
then that thing dies. And
Yeah.
I really hope, like, I know they're taking pre-orders already and stuff, but like, I remember, was it Alan Wake 2 made the decision to move their date either a week earlier or a week later or something, um, the year that came out, because they're basically moving out of the way of Spider-Man 2, I think,
Right.
or something like that. There was a couple of games coming out around that time, and they just said, "Let's just fucking move. There's too much, and we're gonna get lost in the." And we've put too much work into this to, like, for the sake of, a small delay. It could be worth it sometimes. It can
Mm.
make a huge difference. I really, yeah, I think this game should move. I think putting it out on that date. It's unfortunate. They obviously said it and they didn't know, because I think if you knew you're releasing, like, the guy who's making this is obviously aware of Elden Ring. He knows how big it is. He knows that the action game community are going to be big into that, and the fantasy game community.
Mm.
Like, not all of them, but a lot of the same gamers, basically. The same audience he wants. A lot of them.
Are probably going to choose Elden Ring before they're going to choose. If they had to
Well,
choose between the two, like.
well, yeah, because one of them is a known quantity. One of them looks amazing, but unless there's a demo or something, you don't actually know what it's like till you get it. And
Right.
the other one is like, well, I've played the Elden Ring game, and I've played Shadow of the Erd Tree, and I loved both, so I'm all in on
And I
Elden
think
Ring.
Night Rain is multiplayer as well, which means
Right, which
you
means like
got friends
you got
joining
a
together and stuff.
bunch of
Yeah.
gamers saying, "Oh, let's all get it, and let's all play together." Blah blah. Blah. Yeah, so that's the when I see that, I was like, "Oh no!" Like, we have actually been waiting years for this game.
Mm.
Like, I'm reading it here. Look, the guys, this is what the PlayStation blog says: the wait is finally over. This is Yang Bing. As the creator of Lost Soul Aside, I couldn't be more excited to share some big news. Our action RPG will officially launch on PlayStation 5 and PC on May 30th, 2025. What started as a one-person dream, me, a computer, and endless late nights, has evolved into a sprawless adventure full of breathtaking visuals and adrenaline-pumping combat. And I want him to have his
succeed.
moment.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the only thing I'm going to say now on that game, is that I really think they should consider moving the date.
Yes, they should. Even if it's a week before or a week after. Just something to let it have its...
have a little bit of...
Probably a week after. You don't want to, if you don't take it out earlier, there might be a problem. Because you just never know what happens. But yeah, if they do a week after, maybe, that's... Like that will allow people to be able to get their time at Elden Ring, but then they also might pick up Lost Soul Aside then.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not against demos. Always release demos, no matter what the game is.
I would love a demo for this game, because like it already looks great, but I'd love to feel what the combat's like in my own hands. Yeah, definitely. Any more on Lost Soul Aside?
Just that it looks fucking somehow better than even what the very first showcase was.
Yeah, no, it does, and it looks cinematic, and it honestly, and you're going to hear this again later, but it looks like a Final Fantasy game.
Yes,
and
actually, to both of your points, you're going to hear this later. You will, and it does look like yeah.
And I love that shit. But anyway, now it doesn't look as much like a Final Fantasy as later on, because later on is actually a Final Fantasy game. You'll see when I talk about it. I'm like, that's Knights of the Round. What the fuck are you doing? Anyway, no, and it's actually Knights of the Round. I'm not even joking. It is actually Knights of the Round.
I'm getting confused. Yeah, we'll
tell you later.
We'll get there. Okay.
All right. So the next game up then was Like a Dragon: Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
There's a demo.
There's a demo for this one.
There's a demo, a new demo.
Are you planning on jumping into it?
No, I don't understand these games.
Right. Has it ever made you curious, though, to be like, I should just fucking try it because...
No, somehow.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah. I had a moment the other day where I was like, maybe I would like these games. Like, maybe I would.
I don't know what they are. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Even watch this, I'm going, is this a new game? Is it an expansion? Is it a game? Is it an update for a game? I don't know what's going on. What are you doing?
Well, speaking of updates, I followed up with Dave the Diver is getting a DLC, and they're doing a Dave the Diver and Like a Dragon or Yakuza crossover called Dave the Diver's Ichiban's Holiday DLC. Coming in April, so Dave the Diver is getting a lot of life. Like it's continuing with lots of crossovers and DLCs, and it is good. Yeah. 'Cause I know Pagan said she fucking loved Dave the Diver. Like she really loved it, and I tried a demo of it, and I didn't get into it, but maybe I need to go that bit further. I don't know.
Right.
I think I was looking for something at the time, maybe a little bit faster paced, but it's not a fast pace. It's a sit back and kind of
just enjoy the
experience.
I think she said it was a bit of like a comedy.
Yeah, I got that vibe. All right, I got that vibe. Certainly lighthearted. Certainly not like a grim kind of game,
Right.
Next up, we had WWE 2K25.
The Island.
Next up, we had. No, joke. Look, if anyone's into WWE games, let us know. Is this the kind of thing that would excite you? I have no fucking idea. I was just like, this is weird, but okay, cool, whatever. Make your own wrestlers.
This was honestly, this was like the pirate one with the Yakuza thing. I was like, sure, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, is this a new game? Is it an update?
Right.
All right. Yeah. And if then you guys are interested, that's awesome.
This was a part where, so I got like excited on the Lost Soul Aside stuff, and then there was a couple of these, and they were kind of losing me again, right? Because then we had Borderlands 4. Now I know the Borderlands series is huge. Never got into it myself. This could be someone's dream state of play who's into all these other series like that I'm just not into, which is like Monster Hunter and Borderlands and Yakuza. Like maybe this was your dream one, and then I just feel like I'm on the outside, and I'm like, Do you know what? This must be what it's like when they show off like Resident Evil and Final Fantasy and all these stuff at a state of play that you're not into. But I'm like, oh, that was the best one ever. So it totally
Yeah.
depends on what series you're into. Um, they said that Borderlands will 4 will be getting its own state of play soon.
Yes.
As Eric said towards the start, like sometimes they do a state of play that's dedicated only to one game.
Hmm.
They always let you know though what it's going to be. They don't like surprise you with it. Uh, I won't be watching this one. I have zero interest in Borderlands 4.
I thought this looked better than other ones I played.
Okay.
Well, I say other ones. I think I only played the start of two, and then that robot Clackbox or whatever his fucking name is, Claptrap. He started talking, and I went nope. So I didn't get far into that game.
Okay.
But yeah, graphically, I think it looks somewhat better. It's less cel shady, but yeah, if you
Oh
play
yeah, like
Borderlands,
obviously there's a visual
yeah.
upgrade and stuff. Yeah.
But it's not exactly something I'd be jumping on a train for, to be honest. Yeah, like you, I'm not really a huge Borderlands fan.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because again, we're not really first person shootery people.
No, not always. I mean, there's some that I really enjoy, but yeah. The next game though, however, did catch my attention. I am very
Yes.
interested in it, and that is Split Fiction, the next game from Hazelight Studios. We got to see this at the Game Awards. The guy hyped
Mhm.
it up a lot. He's got a lot of passion for this. I believe the two main characters are both named after his daughters,
Nice.
which is a nice, personal touch to it. In, I thought this trailer was only an okay trailer, but for a game that I'm already sold on, if that makes
Right.
sense.
I think the other trailer and his hyping at the game show was definitely better than this one.
Yeah.
This one was very, here's lots of, if you don't know what this game is, you're kind of going, they're there, but they're there, but they're, what the fuck? It'd be like if you'd never heard of this game, it'd be like watching the Yakuza trailer.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You'd just be like, what the fuck is going on? What? I don't know what this is.
So I'm already interested in this game. I'm already going to
Mm,
be getting it. We will play through it. I'm going to be playing couch co-op with Ash. I'm going to be playing online co-op with you. You know, that's
mm.
the plan.
Do I need to
Um,
own it as well?
no, I think if I buy it, that's it. We can just
Nice.
play it.
Nice.
As far as I know, that's how it works. So, which is a really, like, that's really, really awesome.
Nice.
The thing
Yeah.
is, it can't be played single player. So they have to, and like, if two people had to buy it just to play it, which
Less
would be,
sales.
which would be the classic like executive sales thing to do. But
Right.
honestly, yeah, less people would just play it then. So
Yeah.
it's and It Takes Two did really well on that format, so they're continuing it. What has me more hyped on this rather than this particular trailer is last night I saw a preview. The guys from Easy Allies got to play it, or one of the
Mm.
guys from Easy Allies got to play it, and he shared his experience. He played about 2.5 hours of the game. He said in that 2.5 hours, he couldn't believe how much different shit he was doing. He felt like he played 10 different games in that two and a half
Nice.
hours. And obviously, there's a lot more to go. But he was like just constantly doing different shit, but not constant tutorials. It's like you'd get a new thing and you would just, like, the way the game is designed is just, there's just intuition where you just immediately understand that's what I have to do. And
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
like points where like you're platforming and then suddenly you're driving something and then you're fighting something and then you're doing boss fights and then you're flying on dragons. He said it was just wild, and it was completely. At one point he was playing like a pinball game, and at another point, one thing that I thought was really funny, and clearly in the game there's a nod to other games, because at one
Right.
point his character jumped and literally did the leap of faith pose and
Right.
and
Okay.
landed in hay. And then it said there was like a line said uh oh something like, oh, I had faith in that leap or something like that.
Right.
But like, so very clearly like nodding at different things. But yeah, so he said like the gameplay just kept changing constantly.
Nice.
So it sounds like a really, really fun experience, and I'm looking forward to playing it. Um, Next up, we had Directive 8020 or 8020, or I don't know how people are probably gonna be 8020. This is a new game in the Dark Pictures anthology. They're going for sci-fi horror this time around. This is from the guys who have made Until Dawn, The Quarry, and obviously the Dark Pictures games. Did this catch your eye at all, Eric?
I yes, but also like I'm not going to be too quick to pick it up. But just like that looks like maybe like a cool movie to watch.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of idea. Like there was a part of me while I was watching this going, "Is this Alien?"
Right. And obviously
That's-
inspired by all of the big sci-fi horrors. Yeah.
yeah, Alien. It definitely got as the trailer went on, very like The Thing.
Very much so. Yeah, very The
Yeah.
Thing vibes. Yeah.
Mm.
I think they show too much in this trailer.
Right. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I think they gave away a little too much. And also,
But then again, it's a choice-based game, so they're
oh
giving
no,
their own
true.
chunk.
But what I mean is like in Until Dawn, we never knew what the threat was.
Right. We always thought it was the guy in the mask.
Right. Now maybe this is all misleading and there's something else, but it looks like they're giving away the game a little too much in terms of obviously yeah, the choices will determine how it plays out, but the actual what's going on seems to be kind of very clear. And the only other thing that stood out to me is I think the title is very forgettable. I think people will constantly be going, "What was the sci-fi one that they did?" Like, and having to
Right.
look up the name. I don't think we'll ever remember this name.
Yes, when I saw Directive 8020, I was like, that's not the best title for something. That sounds
No.
like it's part of a series that we should be going. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
or a
But
DLC
yes.
for something
Mm.
like Callisto Protocol Directive 8020. That sounds
Right.
like a thing, you know. But yeah, so maybe silly thing to get caught up on. But I do think that sometimes, like if a title doesn't stick with you, a game becomes forgettable.
Mm.
You go, what was that one I played again? I can't remember. You know what I mean? But
Like
I'll
the
never
Portals, like the Portals one.
like the Portals one that you just went. I think it's called Portals.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So next up, we had Five Nights at Freddy's: Secret of the Mimic. Very clear. The minute it started, there's like, oh, this is clearly Five Nights at Freddy's because of
Yes.
the animatronic stuff. Have you ever played a Five Nights at Freddy's?
Oh God, no. Why would I do that?
Okay, I played
As
one.
in, I don't like playing horror games, but I can't like pick up a pipe and whack something because I'm just like, this is weirdly enough for me unimmersive. If I'm playing a horror game and I can't defend myself.
Okay, okay.
Anyway.
Apparently, it'll be released on June 13th.
Mhm.
I'm not a huge fan of Five Nights at Freddy's myself personally, but I know people are, and there's a massive fan base, and there's like what's called FNAF lore, where people go into the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff. I know that that's a thing. I have played Five Nights at Freddy's with people who asked me to play it with them, um, and I, got a level of enjoyment out of it, but not enough to make me go, "Oh, I gotta go get this and actually play it myself."
And dive into the lore and watch the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, I haven't gone further than that. But hey, maybe if I did one day, maybe I would be like, "Oh, fuck yeah, FNAF lore is the bomb." I don't know. You can tell us all about it if you want, guys. I was more interested in the next game, which
Yes.
was another one that stood out to me. And it's called The Midnight Walk. It's described as a handcrafted dark fantasy adventure. This game will release on PS5 and PSVR 2 in May. May seems to have a lot of games this year.
Mm.
Let me tell you, Eric.
No.
This game... Okay, I won't. Moving on.
No,
This
like
game-
I will. I don't know if I'll play this. I like looking at the claymation. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
impressive.
It's incredible.
But I'm like, that's the stuff of fucking. That makes the baby from Resi 8 look like a picnic.
It's definitely very creepy. It's got this
Mm.
kind of Tim Burton and Guillermo del Toro vibe to it. What I was going to say was if they stick the landing and this game is like successful and works well and everything, I foresee it being nominated already in two categories at Game Awards this year: Best VR Game,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's going to stand out in that category,
Right.
and Best Art Design, because I
Yes.
think if they really pull this off and it's all been handcrafted with clay and shit, like that's absolutely incredible. Like just to look at now already in trailers is like, you know what? Give it a fucking award. Like that's incredible work these guys are doing. Like
Yes.
that's we
Nuts.
had an episode last year where we were like, our video games art, and it kind of came to it. Yeah, sometimes not, depends. Yeah, they all use artistic like mediums, but sometimes it's not the point of the game. This game already
It's art.
is art. It literally
Yeah.
is art. Like absolutely insane. I think this looks great. Don't know if I'd have the stomach to play it either. I know what you're saying.
Mm.
Would love to try it though. Would love
Yes.
to give it a go.
Yes.
Um,
Demo would be lovely.
but if the reviews are really high, it could be one I actually would fork out for. It's
I'm
one
rooting for
I'm
it.
going to keep an eye on. I'm going to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I think it's a shame that the title is a little bit of a shame because I think it's a cool title, like, but you have the Midnight Walk done in clay animation, and you have South of Midnight doing stop motion animation, and I
Right.
think people are going to confuse the two. I think people are like. People will call this one South of Midnight. People will call that one the Midnight Walk. I think they're going to confuse the two sometimes. But other than that, it's like, yeah, it's just cool to have these two very different games on two different consoles with an interesting art style each.
Yeah, it's nice to see game developers go a different approach
Yeah.
as well with the art design. Yeah, no, it looks really fucking well done.
Next up, we had Darwin's Paradox, a game from Konami.
Mm.
I was very surprised. And I was like, at first, I saw the little colorful octopus, and I went, oh, it looks stupid. And then I saw the gameplay, I went, that actually looks really good.
Well, it's Abe's Odyssey with an octopus.
That's exactly what I thought.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But the gameplay looks good, and the animation looks great.
Sure.
You didn't think so? And I'm not saying that I'm like, yeah, that's on my list, I'm buying that. I'm just saying,
Oh, right. Yeah, no.
I'm saying
like,
it does
looks
actually
fun.
look good. It looks like
If you're
like Stray or something.
If you're an Abe's Odyssey fan, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a fan of those things, yeah, this would look like a very good. The idea of playing with octopus and using the whole tentacles and the camouflage is a really good idea.
Next up, we had Warriors Abyss. Anything on this one?
Do you like killing lots of people? This is the game for you.
Yeah. Very flashy, very flashy. This was followed by Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny, which is obviously...
Hold up a minute though.
What?
I didn't realize this.
Yeah?
Warriors Abyss dropped today on PlayStation 4
Oh,
Business.
sorry. Yes, no, that did happen. Yeah.
I didn't realize. I'm reading it now. I did not realize
That was a shadow drop, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Good
That was
job,
cool.
guys.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it out yet, but I don't know if I will. Doesn't look like my kind of game, but it looks like a cool game. Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny is obviously a remaster of Onimusha 2, which was a cool way then to lead into the next trailer for Onimusha Way of the Sword, which is the next game in the series coming next year. I think this one was teased at the Game Awards. It was definitely teased before.
Yeah.
Any interest in this, Eric? Does it look cool to you?
No, not really.
Yeah, it looks fine. Like, don't get me wrong, gameplay looks good and all, but like, not everything's going to grab everyone. But I know that there's some big Onimusha fans out there. I think I used to, when I was younger, mix this up and Ninja Gaiden, even though I know the difference now. But I think when I was younger, I used to mix them up.
Oh, okay.
Then we got a game. We got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. It's the same trailer that released last week, so that makes me feel like it leaked last week, and they just said, "Oh, fuck it, have it," because very clearly, if it's the same trailer, it was obviously supposed to be at this, and the release date was supposed to be at this, so we all got it early. So when it started, at first I was like, "To show Snake Eater again already?" And then when I realized it was the same trailer, I was like, okay. And then the thought that actually came into my head. And I suppose we won't spend too long on this because we actually have a bonus out there for people who want to check it out on our thoughts on this specific trailer. Two things stood out to me though. One, I was like, okay, so we're not seeing Death Stranding 2 then. Okay, at this state of play. So then I crossed that off the list. So I was like, oh, fuck's sake. Because I was like, that's another PlayStation exclusive coming this year. And I'm like, I know Kojima is editing a trailer because he keeps showing it in his Instagrams and stuff. So I'm like, I would have sworn it was going to be at this. But there's no way they're going to show that in Snake Eater at the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, so not happening. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing, because I initially watched this trailer on my phone. So to see it on the TV, I was like, Ocelot looks weird. He does. He looks weird. Everyone else looks like the character. Just, visually appalled a little bit. And Ocelot looks weird. That's my...
It looks like Ocelot.
I think he looks weird.
He looks like a guy who goes, wow.
I think his face looks weird. I don't... Does anyone else feel this?
Have they uglified him, Chris? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the game's gone woke. The game's gone woke. They turned sexy Ocelot Man into like a regular dude, They're ruining my sexy characters from my old game. Should be called Metal Gear Woke. That's what it should be called.
don't fuel the fire, Chris. Don't do it.
Anyway, this was followed by Hell is Us.
Death
Another.
Stranding with a sword.
This was another game that stood out to me.
I like the look of it, and I like the fact that they got your man from Deus Ex, Human Revolution, and Mankind Divided do the voice. Because I like his voice.
His voice sounded incredible, and I
He
was
has a
like,
lovely
that's
voice.
definitely that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
He's a great, yeah, yeah.
I think though, as visually astounding as this game looks to me, and as visually appealing as it looks to me, I don't think I'm going to enjoy playing this game.
Because it's going to be a bit
I think it's going to be very hard.
Right.
And also, they have said, which, you know, in one way is cool, but, you know, like, I haven't completed a single game this year yet. I've been so busy. And this game has no quest markers, no waypoints, no anything. They want you to just explore the world and figure out from NPCs where you're supposed to go. They said they want to. Yeah, so, like, it's like, you know, for some people, that's going to be amazing news. Like, great, it's going to be more immersive. But for other people, it's going to be like, listen, I wanted to see the next cool thing. And I spent the hour I had to play running around, not knowing where to go,
Okay,
and then
so-
getting killed by really hard enemies because it looks like it's going to be a difficult game.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? So they say that, and that usually sounds way more
Mhm.
tough
Yeah.
than it is. Because I remember I was playing The Sinking City, which is a game you play. It's set in the Lovecraft world, and there was no way markers in that.
Right.
So people would tell you where you are, like from information you would gather, you have to go to a house on this street, and it's the house with the red door. So you just have to go to that street and find the house with the red door, or it's on the corner of this street, that street, or stuff like that. So you tend to have stuff that helps you to get to the ballpark. It's just not a specific waypoint. So
Right, okay.
I don't think they're gonna make it like seem as tough as like when you try to give people directions to a place on the other side of town in a town that only has one-way roads, and you're like, I mean, if you could just go back the way you came, you'd be fine, but unfortunately you can't, and now you have to go that way, that, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's gonna be as
Honestly,
tough.
just get out and walk.
Yeah. Just leave your car behind.
Well, when I read up on it, this is the thing though that I'm like this. If you're in any way kind of like I might be interested in this, I think this is going to sell the game to you, right?
Okay.
The trailer was cool, the visuals are awesome, but wait till you hear this, right?
Okay.
Wait till you fucking hear this. This is what's on
Alright.
the fucking PlayStation blog.
Okay.
If war is the closest we get to hell on Earth, it's because Earth harbors the worst of demons, humankind. In an isolated country ravaged by infighting, discover the secrets of your past and deal with the repercussions of a mysterious calamity.
Give it to me now.
I was like, how fucking sick does that sound?
Sounds pretty cool. The only thing I don't
Yeah.
like is the sword, is using a sword in it. But other than that, I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, so and then it's on this. It says a unique exploration system. No map, no compass, no quest markers. Following your instincts is part of the adventure. Enjoy
Oh.
a unique experience that uses innovative writing and level design to let you make your own decisions and follow your instincts as you explore. Your discoveries are yours alone.
If there's no map, never mind. That might be a bit more tough.
I think I think they mean it. Like I think this is what they're going for. You know.
Yeah.
I also do think that the combat is going to be difficult in this game, but
Probably.
visually, I think, and thematically and story wise and all that, I think it looks really really cool. So I'm absolutely going to keep an eye on it, and I want to hear like when people do get to play it, I want to hear hands on previews and stuff, and like what people say about the gameplay. And it's coming out in September this year, which is great.
Nice.
So, what have we got next, Eric?
We have Lies of P Overture. That was
Oh,
the
yes.
next one. Is a prequel to Lies of P, and now it's for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So I suppose if you're a fan of Lies of P,
Yeah.
this is right up your alley. I didn't know it was a prequel, so that's kind of cool.
Long awaited DLC, I believe.
Is the DLC? Oh, I thought it was like the second.
I believe it's DLC, but maybe it's more of like an expansion thing, kind of like The Lost Legacy. I don't think it's a full game. I could be wrong.
Hard to tell sometimes nowadays with these expansions, DLCs, and all sorts of stuff because they're just They're getting very big. But I mean, again, if you're Lies of P fan, like this is gonna be right up your alley. I've never played it. I heard it's really good.
Hmm.
Um, if they don't even say it's a DLC. It'd be nice if they even said in the little blurb, the little section here, if it was DLC.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure. I assumed it was, but maybe it's not. So if anyone knows, let us know. Is this a full length game or is it a expansion? Is it a DLC? What is it?
Mm.
Next up, we had Dreams of Another. This one, I don't want to spend too long on it, right? But I had a thought on it. So
I don't
obviously,
want to spend any time on it.
well, I do for a brief moment, right? Because obviously,
Right.
it's very artistic what it's trying to
Yeah.
do, even in its like style and stuff, right? But
Yeah,
basically,
yeah,
they were like, you can't create without destruction,
yeah.
right?
Right.
I'm familiar with that concept and I understand it, but I don't think using AK-47s and RPGs to create trees is honestly, this is a weird one where I'm like the messaging is getting muddled for me a little bit. I understand that
Adam was saying the same thing. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like if you had like an axe and you were cutting down trees and then building stuff with it, then I understand the kind of concept of the you can't create without destruction and you know and the cycle of life and death and this kind of stuff. But to fucking literally like blow up shit with an RPG and then it builds a beautiful tree is kind of like what is your message here? Like what? Like actual war and mayhem leads to beautiful things? Like this seems like a really fucked up concept on a visual level because you're literally like Fortnite shooting shit and building blocks at the same time. I don't know. I again, I think there could be a very interesting concept in here, but it's not gelling with me at all with the methods of which you're doing it.
Yeah, I think for them, because from what it's saying here, just a game that turns a third-person shooter on its head to build rather than destroy. So they were just kind of, I suppose, wanting to turn it on its head, but it just looks shit.
Sponsored by the NRA, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, not yeah. That it just really it's the first time where you know when people like you always hear like the shills who say oh video games promote violence or whatever and you're always like oh fuck off it's not true.
Right.
You got to play it for yourself. There's context. You're usually shooting bad guys or monsters or whatever. And then in this it's like oh create beautiful things with RPGs and I'm like okay I could actually see a genuine argument for this is bad.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what are you're trying to promote the message to a kid like oh if you pick up an AK-47 and start shooting you'll start creating things like no, guns is not. No, guns
No.
and building. I don't put side by
I
side.
like
That's weird.
visually it looks nice. It's just the minute you take out the gun and it's got its real janky shooting, it's just like this is immediately not looking great.
Yeah.
It's not a
What
good
a-
idea.
What about Days Gone remastered, Eric? As someone who played Days Gone, you
Fuck
happy
yeah.
about this?
Fuck yeah. 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 I mean, I'd rather they just went, here's Days Gone 2, but you know what? Still pretty good.
Well, if this
Remastered.
does
You
well,
should get it go. You should get it and give it a
Really?
go, man. Yeah,
if,
yeah, yeah.
if this does well, could we get a sequel? Could this
Oh.
breathe new life into Days Gone?
Well, the fact that they decided to remaster it means that they are looking at it. So if it does do better, yeah, they might decide to go okay. Because Bend Studios did like pitch the second one and they went no.
At the time, yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe.
and then I think they went for something else, and people who were fans of Day Gone went, "What are you doing?" I think they got Ben to like try and make Ben Studios to make like a live service, and then they
yeah, and
went,
it's been cancelled. So
yeah. So just
Yeah.
make Days Gone 2.
so then we had Stellar Blade and Goddess of Victory Nikki DLC. Was this your big hype moment? 'Cause you
Yeah,
love
so
Stellar
like,
Blade?
okay, let's go. It's
Okay.
ridiculous. Why are we still getting this shit? But anyway, yeah, let's go. Celebrate. I don't understand. I don't know what it is. But sure, I'm gonna get it.
Okay. This is more awesome Stellar Blade, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Okay. After that, we had a couple of games I think just got like thrown out there as like sub stuff that's like coming to PlayStation Plus and stuff.
Right, yeah.
There was Blueprints, Abiotic Factor. I think there was a few other things thrown in there too. But some of them were like old games that are coming to PS Plus, and then these I
Right.
think were like new ones that are going to launch on PS Plus. So if they caught your eye, guys, do let us know. But they were followed by the other. That's a Final Fantasy game, now I
And
can
I'm
finally
reading the
explain-
description where it says Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah, no, it's actually about the Knights of the Round. It's based on Arthurian legend. So this game is called Tides of Annihilation. It has a bit of a Claire Obscure vibe to it with the at first when I saw like London and stuff and
Yeah.
like it's kind of got a bit of that vibe. It's just London instead of Paris. But then it's also got huge Final Fantasy vibes.
Absolutely.
It looks like great combat. I did the reading up on it because this one again I was like, but what is it though? Is it part of a series or something? So I thought the trailer was cool, and then when I went and read, I was more sold on it personally.
Mm.
Um, so to get up the PlayStation blog, players will take on the role of Gwendolyn, who wields the power of a mysterious grey fog that can manifest two spectral knights at her side. Each knight has a distinct combat role, whether it's charging into battle, defending against attacks, or unleashing devastating combos. Players will need to strategically choose which knight to summon based on their preferred gameplay style and the challenges they face. And yes, as Eric said, it is actually based on Arthurian legend. And there's also a bit of like Shadow of the Colossus going on. Like, so they said, like, colossal knights roam the land. One of the most awe-inspiring and exciting features of the game are the colossal knights roaming Greater London. More than a spectacular visual backdrop, these are interactive challenges woven into gameplay. You'll climb their immense forms, which was shown in the trailer, explore their surfaces, and engage in epic battles that will test your skills and courage. I thought it looked sick.
Looks sick.
I'm very even at the end they showed the giant Excalibur in the stone, and I was like, I think when you hear this context and you go back and rewatch the trailer, it starts making even more sense. But I remember like watching the first time and like there was the knight on the horse, and I was like, that's fucking Odin. Like, what is going on? It's like, this is Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Awesome. Oh no, I'm not giving out. I thought the art style looked cool. I thought the graphics were great. Combat looks really flashy and cool and interesting. Again, I do wonder, is it going to be is there a bit of a Soulsborne aspect to it? You just don't know nowadays with action games which way it's going to steer.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing nowadays. It's hard to tell.
There's that element of I just don't know, but I would love to know, and I'm going to keep my eye on this one.
Yes, and nice to see Jennifer English, fucking in everything.
Yeah, she's
doing well for herself.
She's doing very well. She's very popular.
Actually, the one who did the main character in Stellar Blade, she was also in Baldur's Gate 3 as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're never going to see her.
No.
You killed everyone. But but yeah, she's
killed everybody.
in it. Yeah, but she's in that. But yeah, it's nice to see because that's Jennifer English, Baldur's Gate 3. She's in Claire Obscure later this year.
Yeah. And she's going to be in Tides of Annihilation.
She's doing
I'm
well.
sure she's in loads of other stuff, but yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Next, we had Metal Eden. This was like a sci-fi first-person shooter. To be honest with you, I wasn't even paying that much attention to this one because I was still thinking about the last one.
Right? Yeah.
I'll be real. So it didn't in any way kind of catch my eye, but did it do anything for you?
Just looks like a first-person shooter game. Yeah, you shoot some enemies. You have some guns. I think you do some wall jumping. It just looks. It's the problem with first-person shooter games is it's really hard to make one look new and fresh. I find.
Okay.
I think that's the thing that throws me off of first-person games. Is that anytime I look at
think you're biased. I feel like someone who loves first-person shooter games would say the same thing about. It's like, oh, so all the games you like that this thing all look like Final Fantasy. Like none of them look different. They all look the same. You know.
Right.
You know, you like what you like. You like what you like.
I like what I like.
No, I'm joking. I
No. I see what you're saying, Chris. Fuck off. No, yes, there is a bias, of course, to it. But what I mean, though, is yes, these games all look like Final Fantasy, which is cool. So if you like a first-person game, you see a first-person game, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. But then there's new shit to it. They always have to do something that makes them stand out. So you're summoning allies, or or it's back to being turn-based combat, or whatever it is. And then when you get the first-person game, for me personally, obviously for hardcore first-person shooter fans, they might be able to go, no, like that's new and that's innovative, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, just at the surface level, it just looks like wall running. I've seen that in first-person games. Shooting, I've seen that That's why I really like the look of Mirror's Edge when it first came out.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because it just looked like something that was so new and
innovative,
fresh,
and yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's
a really good shout out, the Mirror's Edge one.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's a game I haven't thought about in a long time. Wow.
So
Sometimes,
that
sometimes just talking about games just launches you way back to something else. Where you're like, "Fuck new games." I go back to play, something
yeah.
else. Like that's crazy.
So that's kind of thing. That's why I didn't really take a shine to Metal Eden. Is that it's like I think I've seen a lot of this before.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, then how about Mind's Eye, which was the next trailer up? Um, I for a second was trying to figure because it seemed like it was a series. It seemed like it was an entry in a series that we
Mm.
know, and I was like, is this what's that one called? What is it? Watch Dogs? That's for a moment I was like, is this Watch Dogs? Like it'd be weird
I
because
was
I didn't see the Ubisoft logo, so
right, and they would plaster that for sure.
there was yeah.
And if it was Watch Dogs, the characters were acting too seriously.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, see, I
Um,
just thought maybe it was like a new entry and they
right,
had
yeah,
gone for
maybe.
a let's spice it up more or something like that. But obviously, it's not. It's its own game. It's called Mind's Eye, um, and I think like what I honestly thought when I was watching it was when I was 13, 14. This would have been my favorite game of the show. This would be the one I'd want to play. This like because of the action aspect of it, the getting into cover and shooting, and then the
Hmm.
story and the intrigue and stuff like that. My gameplay tastes have kind of changed since, but that doesn't mean that I would hate this game. I actually think I think there's aspects of this game I would enjoy.
So I liked when I saw Adam wasn't that impressed, but I think he wasn't that impressed that the showcase itself didn't really just kind of showcase generic stuff, even when they're like, here's our gameplay now. And
Hmm.
it was still just generic cuts and stuff, and I get that. But I liked that I saw the guys get into cover because I'm a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit like I actually can't remember the last time I've seen a game where you get into cover.
yeah.
It's you're either slicing with a sword or it's first person or it's like live service or something. Like I can't actually remember the last time I've seen people get into sliding into cover. And I was like, that's
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it took me back to like 2013
yeah.
or something like that, you know?
And it's a game where I was watching it kind of going, I kind of wish the Cyberpunk 2077 had this gameplay
Mm, yeah,
rather than being
yeah.
first person. But it's something that I'll need to see more of because
Oh
yes,
yeah, it's not a slam dunk. Oh yeah, I'm
yeah,
getting you. It's just a yeah. There's aspects of this I think I'd enjoy,
mm,
but I don't know if it's really gonna catch my eye that much.
yeah,
Have to wait and see.
yeah,
Yeah, and then they had the final game of the show.
they
They had
did.
the PlayStation Studios logo. So you're like, oh okay, here's one of the big first party things that they're ending on. Wonder what it's gonna be. My first guess was Ghost of Yotei.
Right.
Then when I saw the kind of sci-fi element to it, I was like, oh wait, shit, is this Cory Barlog's game? It can't. I was like, it can't be the Heretic Prophet or whatever that's called. I was like, we saw that at the Game Awards, and it's too soon to show that again. No, we're not
Right.
seeing that for another year, maybe. All right. So I was like, it could be Cory Barlog's game because he is supposed to be working on a sci-fi game. I was like, and if it is, I get one of my predictions right. Let's go, Cory Barlog. Let's go. And then the more it went on, I was like, no, this doesn't sound like.
Well, they also
It's,
say house marquee at the start, so that should have been a dead giveaway.
did it say it at the start? I don't think they
Pretty
said it
much.
at the start. But when
No.
as soon as Housemarque's logo came up, yeah, obviously I was like, oh, okay. It's not that then.
Yeah.
Obviously this is a spiritual. It's called Saros, and it's a spiritual successor to Returnal. Um, it stars Rahul Kohli. He looks great in it.
hmm
The visuals look cool. And I don't mean obviously this is a CG trailer, but I just mean even the art design, like the creature thing that
Right.
came up looked fucking awesome. The idea of a sun being covered by an eclipse looks cool.
Mm.
Obviously it's a similar idea to Returnal, but maybe they're going to innovate on that idea more in terms of maybe like it was it every time you die you come back, the planet has changed, that kind of stuff. But so it's a roguelike again, not my favorite genre of game.
Right. Yeah.
And personally, not again, and this is no shade on this particular game. I'm sure it'll be great in the genre that it is. I know people loved Returnal. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of hype for this game. But ending the first showcase of 2025 with a game that's releasing in 2026 instead of a game that's actually releasing this year, I just didn't see the sense in it personally. And there's no
I
shade on this game.
no.
I'm sure it's going to be fucking awesome. We're going to see more of it in the future anyway. but I thought it was a weird way to end this particular showcase.
I think they're ending it because it's the only one that came up with the PlayStation logo to say that this is a
Oh yeah,
PlayStation exclusive.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
ending it because Returnal was well received. But it might have been better to start the game with this, or start the showcase with this.
All
So the
right.
first thing you're seeing is the PlayStation logo. Here's this game. It's coming
Yeah,
out next year,
yeah, yeah.
from this award-winning company, and then we get on with all the rest of the ones, and then they could end with fucking something else. But but like yeah, it's CG trailer. Can't really say much. Probably be very similar to Returnal. I've never played that game. Obviously, it's award winning, or at least award nominated. And I mean, Rahul Kohli's in it. He's pretty good. I enjoy watching him. He's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
actor.
yeah. He's
And
great. He's great.
the design of that creature, I was like, I want that in more things. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
care
yeah.
if it makes sense.
Yeah. No, it was
And
cool.
then yes, the eclipse, which is actually like it becomes a hole into the sun itself. It becomes like this weird abyssal portal, and I was like, that's so fucking metal.
Yeah, I have no doubt this will be a good game. I just think
Mm.
it's. I just thought it was weird way to end your first showcase of 2025.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, yeah, that's all. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe starting with it might have been a good way to start the showcase. And I'm sure like Returnal fans are going to be fucking like hyped as fuck for
Mm.
this. But yeah, so that's the showcase recapped. Bit of mixed feelings. Some games we were very high on. Some games we had zero interest in. Some games we were just a little bit maybe gotta keep it an eye on or whatever. Eric, for you personally, what was your highlight of the show?
Uh, Stellar Blade, woo.
Was
No,
it was it was it really? Was it really
no, no,
this
no, no. But
Stellar Blade DLC? You want to keep that guy going?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll get it and I will play it
Oh,
again
you
because
actually
it's.
will?
Oh, absolutely. Of course I'll get it. I fucking love Stellar Blade. It's great. But
Yeah, Stellar Blade was Eric's game of the year last year, just so people know.
yeah, yeah, it's a really good game, but also I understand the
You understand the
complaints
memes and all.
and the memes, and yeah, I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't shy and hide away from that stuff.
No, no, no.
But there's two games stood out for me absolutely: the Final Fantasy looking games, Tides of Annihilation, and the other one that this is not looking good because I can't remember the name of it.
Lost Soul Aside.
Thank you. How did I forget the name?
I know.
Lost.
I know.
How did I do it?
We literally
Lost Soul
just talked
Side.
about it.
I know, and that was the game that I introduced to you. It's Lost Soul Side, Tides of Annihilation. Those were the two that really stood out to me.
I don't think Tides of Annihilation is this year. I think that's maybe next year, but I'm not sure. I
Mm.
don't think they put a date on that one. Lost Soul Aside, obviously we have a release date. I hope to move it. Has it become one of your more anticipated games this year now? Like at the
Yes.
start of the year, we did our top five most anticipated. We said throughout the year that might change. Would it enter your top five? Do you think, or is it just like it's kind of edging close to it? But
Edging close to it. I'd like to know, is it going to be? Because for me, I was just like, this is going to be a Final Fantasy action game, action
yeah,
RPG. But then when you're bringing up the whole, is it Soulsborne? That made me kind of go, oh yeah, is it?
like, it's something you have to factor nowadays.
Yeah,
Yeah, in
which is
all
annoying.
action games.
Fuck, fuck you from Software for putting that onto the radar. But also, fair play from Software for putting that on the radar.
Changing the gaming industry forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, yeah, I'm certainly interested in that one. There was a few like the Midnight Walk, Hell Is Us. These were all really
Mm.
interesting to me, and I got to keep an eye on. But the one that stole the show for me was Tides of Annihilation.
Yeah.
I thought it looked fun to play. I thought it looked visually astounding, and I just think doing that kind of take on Arthurian legend is fucking awesome.
Mm.
So that's what I'm definitely like keeping my eye on, and it's a nice new IP as well. That's
Mm.
really interesting. But I'm still like I am rooting for like Lost Soul Aside is also a new IP. I'm rooting for it. I want it to do well. I'm really worried about that release date,
Yes.
as I pointed out. I wouldn't move. I'm just saying because the other Juggernaut is not going to move. The other Juggernaut doesn't need to move. You know what I
No.
mean? And that's just the way it is. You know, they have a monopoly on gamers at this at this point. You know, so I would personally move that date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Any other final thoughts on the state of play, anything that we saw before we wrap up this week's episode?
No, I'm pretty sure we covered everything. We did it, man.
Did it, man. We did it, man.
We did it.
We did it all. We shared our most hyped games. We want to hear your most hyped games.
Fucking Digimon.
And also, I will say, Digimon, Digital Monsters. I really want. What I'm hoping for is that in terms of PlayStation showcases, that the best is yet to come. I really hope that they have something later that's going to be like bang, bang, bang. Here's Ghost Yote. Here's your first look at Wolverine. Here's the stuff that we really want to see. Where, and again, no shade on any of these games, but a lot of these games could have been at an Xbox showcase as well. So it didn't really,
right, yeah.
And we've pointed that out. Some of them are absolutely like they should be at a PlayStation showcase, and it makes sense. But did it line up an exciting year for PlayStation? For me, it didn't. It just lined up oh, cool, there's lots more games to look forward to.
Right, yeah, I get you. There's not really the PlayStation exclusive.
But I'm actually excited to play my Xbox this year. And I'm excited about the Nintendo Switch this year.
Hey.
I need them to excite me about playing PlayStation this year. Even though, and it's my primary console. When I buy stuff, I tend to buy it for PlayStation anyway. And sorry, Split Fiction, another one like that. Again, that trailer didn't necessarily sell it as highly as I've already been sold on it, but it's the next game I'm buying, I think, based on its release date and other stuff. So yeah. But yeah, guys, let us know, what were your most hyped games from PlayStation State of Play? Did you enjoy the showcase as a whole? Were you hyped by it? What were you hoping to see going into it? All those things. We want to know all of your thoughts on the games that we brought up as well. And if you have further information on some of the games that we kind of speculated about, please feel free to share them with us. If you watch the YouTube, jump down in the comments to share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for all future content. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on PlayStation's State of Play. Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. We will be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.